Chapter -19, The Feast for the New Millennium by Frank. The time game must remain here at all times, said Blizzard, but Guy allows a large number of time fairies to represent Gim. When there's a feast, we get to be supersized, added Goad. Barwiam also chooses some lucky ghosts, said Blizzard. They're given back their bodies so that they can eat and drink and dance and generally have a great time for as long as the party lasts. How are they chosen? Asked Sky. Barwiam is very fair, said Blizzard. He simply looks back over time and chooses people based on what their hearts were like when they were alive, even if they never actually did anything good. Barwiam is very interested in the state of a person's heart. Not their flesh and blood heart, said Orpheus. No, said Blizzard, how they treat living things and how they treat themselves. Although sometimes Guy invites people who've behaved badly, said Orpheus, but they have to be counselled first. They have to understand how to be a decent person. And if they behave badly again, added Blizzard, they're removed immediately. Has anyone ever been removed immediately? Asked Minnow. Plenty, said Blizzard. I remember when Overlord Thieves' grandfather was allowed to join a feast. He was counselled for 2 weeks about how to behave decently. But when he reached the party, said Orpheus, he punched 2 of the waiters for not bringing him the right food. Punched them? Asked Sky. Yes, some people think that people like Darling and EJ are simply servants, said Blizzard. They treat them with disrespect, but it shows more about the puncher's ghastly character than anything else. Minnow looked angry. Darling Jones is such a brilliant creature, she said. How terrible. I hope he didn't punch Darling. No, said Blizzard, looking sad. But it was 2 of her cousins, Dealer and DeLorean. They are such a bright colour, an orange-pink, almost neon, and their beaks are black on the tips. Dealer and DeLorean were so embarrassed about being punched, added Orpheus, that in the end Barwiam authorised us to wipe the whole thing from time. Otherwise the shame of it would have haunted them for centuries, said Blizzard. Flamingos are highly sensitive. Ben frowned. But if it was wiped from time, how do you know about it? Blizzard smiled. We're time wizards. We get to see the bloopers. I couldn't help laughing. There was something about the way Blizzard looked when he said bloopers. Blizzard laughed too. There are some very good bloopers, he said. One day I'll show you some. I shook my head. It was too much. I felt I had to pinch myself. We were actually with time wizards and time fairies in a real-time game. So good. Orpheus added, Overlord Thieves' grandfather will not be invited to a feast for at least another 10 millennia, if ever. What a cruel man, said Minnow with a frown. I hope he's never given another chance. It's a strange thing, said Blizzard. If we wish harshness onto others, sadly it affects our own hearts. So, even though he behaved very badly, Orpheus and I wish him well. Is he in heaven? I asked. Everyone who dies goes to heaven, said Blizzard, but how they experience heaven can be very different. So there's no actual hell? Asked Ben. Not in the way that some people talk about it, as if it's a terrible punishment, said Blizzard. It's more that people with a nasty heart can't really experience much that's good anyway. Barwiam suddenly laughed loudly. Oh, this conversation is very morose, he said. I had to interrupt what I was doing to dial up the mood. Loud music was suddenly piped through the tunnel we were in. When we celebrate the new millennium, said Barwiam, I hope you'll all dance for an entire week. Blizzard jumped up. Excellent, he said. The song playing was about walking on the sun, and we all started dancing. Many of the time fairies in the tunnel were leaping about, doing gymnastics in the air, and then breakdancing on the ground. Blizzard and Orpheus also danced mid-air, and then flew back down to the ground to writhe about. Minnow and Sky did their own dance moves, and then Goad, Go-Live and Fun started running along the walls of the tunnel, sideways. Ben and I joined them, running and dancing, leaping up and doing somersaults mid-air, generally killing it.